Oh my God. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my first live stream clean of my room. This is really loud. Okay, so what we have to do is clean all the files in my room. I've been cleaning all day. Mostly I cleaned in the kitchen. Not going to be here this summer. So if you heard that for the first time, sorry that I told you I was going to be here this summer. I thought I was going to be in Boston, but I'm not. So if you have any specific suggestions of things that you would like to see me clean, please let me know. Here are some options. We can go through this. It's a little bit disorganized. I started to look through it. This doesn't need to be cleaned. I just like to obsess over it. The other thing is that since it's the end of the semester, I have this whole file like cabinet of stuff from school that I now have to decide if I want to get rid of or not. And then those things, the best articles go into the best articles of all time that I keep from like all of the classes I've ever taken. So I get to show you those, which are like my favorite things ever because they're like really transformative articles and I just really like them a lot. Maybe you will be able to find one today. Wow, this is why YouTubers get so excited. I get it. Okay, so. Hi, Billy. Okay, so we're just gonna start with that. First, I'm gonna get the here's my lab. I'm gonna get the articles that are my favorites so that we can find the ones from before that we can add. And I can show you the books that I've recently purchased because they're disorganized. So I have to put them back together because if I don't have this, then I can't do anything. Like I literally can't work. My room's not clean. I believe this is, oh no. I think I put, so the reason, actually, loyal followers, if you would like to know the backstory as to why I even began to make this, let me turn this off. If you'd like to know the backstory as to why I began this channel, it was because I was cleaning my files and I realized how much they mattered to me. And they were very particular. So I had already started doing it. Here's my sentimental folder. This is a notebook that doesn't have anything in it. So I should probably put that aside. There's a few things, but I should put that aside for like actually still in use, right? There's obsolete objects and non-obsolete objects. This is still something that can be of use. Okay. Here are some doodles. For example, I don't know. You never know what you're gonna need, right? Okay, so non-obsolete object, right? Because there's nothing in it. So that will go into this file folder. But there should also be a folder. There should also be a folder or a folder like you never know. What do I never know? Billy, what do I never know? Okay, so let me continue to look. What is this? I have literally no idea what's in this folder. This looks like a doodle folder. What you're going to need, right? So this is a doodle folder as well. But then it has Introduction to Installation Art and Experience, which is where this was an article we read in installation class. I didn't find it to be that incredible, so I'll probably put this in the trash. I don't think it was transformative. But these are mostly doodles, which I think is just from class notes. If you'd like to see some of my doodles, I'll put them up too. What are you going to need? Oh, what you're going to need. Here are some doodles. I like this face. Here. Oh, here, this is some guy at a bar, I think. So, something I'm going to be working on this summer, I'm making a website. Like, everyone has, like, an artist website. Like, I get it. That's, like, not what I'm making. I'm making a website that will put all of my, like, ideas and work onto it in chronological order so that I can keep track on it. Yeah, hi, Sean. You're not alone. So the way that it's going to work is it's going to be sort of like a pseudo like ProQuest or like JSTOR. So like but also like a blog. So like think of those two things like if they were combined. And so I'm going to tag them with different ideas on them. So like if I was to put a folder, which I probably should, of doodles, I'd hashtag it of doodles. And so then that would be something that you would find from like a doodle from 2017. If I hashtag doodle and then hashtag like, I don't know, if it was relevant, something like face. And then if something comes up later that it ends up being an actual piece that I make, where I'm making something about faces, which this will never happen, but you never know, like Billy said, then that's how you'll be able to see it. So then you'll be able to like filter down ideas, and then you'll be able to see me develop. You never know, again, you never know if you make work about faces. Faces are so cool. Kind of want music back on, but I don't want people to be annoyed. Was it too loud? I love my loyal followers. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so I need a trash bin thing. This is going to be in there. So this is all of my medical documents, so I'm not going to go through that. Yeah. I'm going to just show. This is something that I'm supposed to, I have an address that doesn't fit, and I'm supposed to return it. Here is some paper. This is some paper that needs to be put into, I don't know, its own category. It's just extra paper. Okay, so this is non-obsolete objects, right? So right now, what we have, I wish we could almost, that's better. That's so much better. Okay, so non-obsolete objects. Still non-obsolete object. Certainly a non-obsolete object. But these things take up so much space. Okay, yes, non-obsolete objects. I've done such a good job for myself. This is just I think I found that this would be a potentially good vessel because I've used it for other vessels, or I've used my shutterfly thing before. But I can also show you the outtakes of images that I grabbed. I have these up, but I got extras. This is Joseph Albers teaching at the Black Mountain College. This is a still from a video of Andy Warhol well, of Bob Dylan, cool enough to like Andy Warhol, and I used to not like Andy Warhol too, but I just like decided that he's cool. Not just. I decided that I like him, and I think it's kind of controversial of an opinion. So, that's just my like educated opinion that Andy Warhol is cool. So for all of you art hoes out there that believe that he's not cool because that's what you've been taught to think, you're kind of right, but you're kind of wrong. Also, Bob Dylan is cool. And so, this is a photo of the Do letter from Eva Hesse, or from Soloist to Eva Hesse. So brave, thanks. But I don't even want to get into that. If you want to learn more about my opinion on that, I have an entire video. It's called Do ? You can find it in my channel. So I guess this wasn't just a vessel. I think I just wanted this. Here's some more paper. Here's another just little piece of paper. Here's my notebook from Logic. I don't know what to do with it. I don't really want to throw it away. What do you do with these things? You know? Whatever. It'll go in this pile. Damn, this is old. No, it's not. Okay, well, this is an object that has been used to its full extent. Therefore, it must be decided if it has relevancy of sentimentality, or if it has relevancy of possible information that may come up later, or if I am just being a hoarder and it must be thrown out. In my opinion, it is most likely never to be thrown out. But it's from, oh, here, look, here's some doodles that I should probably put in the doodle thing. Keep, okay. Billy says keep. Sean says if it's a prerequisite, he tosses. I'm really into this doodle. I don't really draw. You know, that's a lie. I don't really make many things. I don't really know if that's true either. I think I do make things. I think I'm just self-conscious. The YouTuber opens up. Oh my god, I'm gonna break this. I'm not careful. And I care about it, so I'm gonna be careful. Should I put music on, or is it too loud? I was listening to a podcast earlier. You want to know what the podcast was about? The podcast was about somebody who had taken wax containers. What do they call them? Wax cylinders. Music. Okay. So, somebody had taken wax cylinders, right? Those were the first sound, like, recorders. And he had got a podcast of his remediated onto a wax cylinder because somebody still has the technology to make a wax cylinder. Do you know how incredible that is? Also, the fact that I was watching or listening to a podcast about someone remediating their podcast onto a wax cylinder, it was like literally the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I had the best day ever today. Like, I didn't, but like that was the greatest thing ever. Also, like, that is the most, okay. So you take sound, right? And you put it onto an object. Like, that thing is a thing, okay? Like, the sound that's on there, I'm still trying to figure out if that's a thing. But the wax cylinder with the sound on it, that is definitely a thing. That is all I have to say. Okay, sound music. Music makes the people come together. Yeah. This isn't even the one I give a shit about. This is just another of the same doodles I always do. Okay, so theoretically I should go through all of these and pull out the doodles, but can we just first look at my books, or is that too easy? I'm gonna do this until someone tells me I should move on. This could be a meme. There's like real material here. There are a lot of different hands. I think we're seeing a theme of being bored and drawing hands because they're easy. So it's pretty cool. This is like so not. I started drawing this shape in sophomore year of high school. Fun fact. Why do you draw hands? Because I'm good at them. I said it and I couldn't take it back. I mean, because they're easy, okay? Here's how you do them. Everyone, I'm teaching you easy lesson. Also, this is fucking Sheila shit. And speaking of, I want to take that down because that's easy art school shit. And I don't really care. So we're going to take it down now. It's the Sheila portrait, okay? Like, look, I get it. I really like, obviously I would have it up otherwise. I wouldn't have it up otherwise. But like, it's time to interior decorate, like, with my own, like, sense of style, not just like what everyone has maybe. So we're taking it down. It's been bugging me for a while, so I'm glad that that just came up. Woo! Okay, so art lessons. Here, I was going to tell you about this anyways, but I'm just going to do it on here. Recently, I've been reading theory as much as possible because I'm going to be writing this summer and also reading. So I read The Image Object by Artie Bierkamp, the 18th. So we're just going to draw on top of this, okay? So you make hand. It's got to be something kind of like that. This is so not going to work. And then you have to make 4 circles like that. And then another circle. That's it, okay? This is what we're doing. And then you make another one. Are you following? Something kind of like this. Okay, I'm not going to do a very good job at it right now because I shouldn't be doing this at all. But so you just start connecting. And then you just draw nails. And then like I just did this in what? How many seconds was that? It's not that great, but that's like the foundation for a hand. And then from there you can do anything. And so since I actually had a template for how to draw a hand, because I don't know how to draw anything, because I don't have templates to draw many things, then that actually developed as a thing that I knew how to draw. That's my answer. This is great. Taught me a lot. The article, not the hands did too. This is like not. Okay, find another doodle. It's kind of whatever. It's getting put in the doodles folder. I'll probably scan these, don't you think? One of my teachers from like high school said that I used to focus better when I drew. I kind of don't know if that's true. Look. The classes that I'm most invested in, I don't do it in. I've been trying not to. That's not true. Sometimes it's like an art class I do. But this class, I do really want. Also had a friend in it. Can you hear me? Thanks so much. Alright. It's alright. Oh my god. This one, this is worth going through this whole thing. I'm obsessed with pens and like objects that create for you, mediate the production of communicating. I only recently realized that is like the computer as well. It's all coming together, you know. That's why you have to keep all this always being all the information should always be collected because you never know when something is going to be important. But look at this. Look at these nice drawings of a pen that I never really made. I have a pen somewhere. You never know. Could you hear me from down there? Look at this pen. This is great. I'd like to get this tattooed, except I can't I don't know. I'm not allowed to get tattooed. Like, anyone can get a tattoo and, like, not be allowed to, but I'm, like, fully disowned. We won't. Wow, that'd be so good. That was worth it. I was trying to draw that out to figure out how to make a pen, because I was going to make a pen in metal. In the small metals department. Someday I will make a pen. It's one of my goals in life. Make a pen. I just want my own pen. I have some pens from around the world, and around different eras and stuff. I have one from, I don't know, but like early, like turn of the century pen. It was like when they just started making pens out of like metal. I have one of those. So cool. Hi, Indigo. I don't want to listen to this. Guys, want to see some art I made? Is this backwards? All right, well, I think it's funny, and I think it makes sense. I run this really big. I don't think that you can see that the right way, so I'm not going to keep it. Look at this is from something in my in this book that I read about Robert Rauschenberg. He's like my dude. That's like dude. I don't give a fuck. I love logic. This is logic. Like the linguistic science, not science, math. Vessel. What is the vessel? Pen? The text was showing up the right way? Okay. I need this as a screenshot. All right. This is the game. I think I need to print this. Wow. This is that. All right. I'm going to print this. This is more of what I meant. Okay, so I think this is just like an unsuccessful version of the kind of art that I was trying to make. But the point is that the abstract expressionists were listening to jazz, and then the pop artists, remember I said I liked Andy Warhol? The pop artists were listening to the television while they were in the studio. And then I made a meme of that and said, wow, that's so interesting. And like the point is, like, the way that we consume information of like this generation is like through memes. Like that's the joke, but it's also like a piece of art. Like it's really dumb. I was embarrassed printing this. I mildly stand behind it though. Shout out to myself. Keep logic notes. I will keep the logic notes. Sean, what? It's dumb and I kind of like it. Thanks. You're wild. Thanks. Okay, the logic notes will be kept. I most certainly did this on purpose. Can you imagine this? Okay. I have other wood that's not this size, and it's right there. This was from a chalkboard that I made for my chalkboard performances. Ah! Imagine this with, like logic on it, but like it looks good. Like I did it and it didn't really look good, but like I'm trying to do this thing. Well, I'm not trying because I'm not doing it yet. But something I'm thinking about right now is making a piece. It'll happen, okay? Where there's a piece with like logic-y something going on, and I'm like figuring out what I'm doing on it. I think I could like start taking notes on this. That would be interesting, I think. And so like the notes would literally become the art piece, almost in like a Jasper Johnsy way, but like the idea is still part of the painting. Like, fuck me, dude. That's literally just Basquiat. See, this is why you don't do everything that you want to do. But like the thing, I can't. Goodbye. When that's more developed, I'll come back. I worked so hard on this. See, this is what happens. I get so attached to these notes and then I don't know where to put them. Should I put them in like a sentimental, like, I'm gonna put it in like, no, because that's not like good notes. This exists on my computer. Look at this. How good is that? So good. I should just throw this out. Oh my god, but look at how good this is. Throw out or not throw out. This is from a cognitive psych test. I made this packet. Vote below. Oh, this is another logic book. Okay, logic gets kept. Here's Esri. I'm not going to pull this out as a thing, but it like is so Esri. Fuck. I'm so proud of myself. Look, I did well. Honestly, like I'd put this up in my room as like a piece. Like if it was scanned big. This is kind of what I meant, okay? It's different, but it's not that different. Anybody getting it, or is it just dumb? Please let me know. I literally hate you all. So this goes. This was just a vessel. Here's some more photos. Overall, I think we're good. Because I need to put my favorite things what I'm talking about is my favorite articles of all time from school. Okay, so now this is like a more fun part of the full thing that you got to stick around for. So because you stuck around, if you're loyal or whatever, you get to see the good stuff. Who the fuck wants to see my recent books? We get to go through my books. They're so dirty. Look, this is the best part of the entire day. Okay, so here's my favorite articles. This is a big deal pile. Favorite articles, my books. Those are the two most important things in my room. Probably. Like, not really, but like, no, they are. I bought this book. Yeah, so if you want to go online and like look up the history of like net art and stuff, and like internet art and post-internet art and stuff, Rhizome did a archive, like went through their archives and like put together a show. Holy shit, that piece of wood. They put together a show. It's really cool. So I've like been doing research and like every day basically I'm looking at a new piece on that website. It's really cool because a lot of it you can't actually get to anymore because the websites are like corrupted or like they don't work anymore because they're old. Like any sort of media platform, dies, right? Not dies, but like the machinery, becomes obsolete. So they had to create this entire new platform. They called, but you have to go onto it. You have to go onto this website that allows you to go on and see these old stuff, so like it could be old website links that have been taken down or like a game that just like doesn't work on Mac anymore or something. So yeah, this is just like I gotta do my research this summer. It's really exciting. This is a brand new book. Everyone, did you know that cybernetics is the greatest thing that's ever happened? The truth is that it is. And now I have an entire book by Gregory Bateson, who is essentially one of the fathers of cybernetics, which is like, let's get real for a second. Just give me a second. I'm at school, okay? I'm studying art history, film media studies, and cognitive and brain science, okay? I'm studying cybernetics. Cybernetics is the study of like communications and like the media world that we live in, that develops based off of the technologies that we use on an everyday basis. That is like one small part of what cybernetics is. Cybernetics is about about connections, about communication. An entire podcast or something on me trying to explain cybernetics would be incredible. I'm not going to get into it because it's going to go way too long, but this is about media ecology, and media ecology is, I'm like really excited. Like my like voice is like, because I'm like really excited. I'm talking to like two people and I'm like stoked about it. Probably get some water. Anyway, so media ecology is the environment that we live in based off of the media that our species um, utilize. So, since the Industrial Revolution, this media has become something that is mechanical, and then especially since post-war, since we've been using like television and anything that's been through airwaves, we've started to communicate disembodied. So, right? This makes me warm and fuzzy because this is an entire book that explains that. Now I'm gonna read it. My answers are gonna be, or my questions are gonna be answered. Okay, so then this, I was doing research and somehow this became very important, and I don't remember why, but I definitely need to read it. Let's read the back. I definitely needed it for a reference, and because I hadn't read it, I couldn't actually reference it, and then I was like, damn, I might as well get it. Even the smartest among us can feel inept as we try to figure out the shower control in a hotel or attempt to navigate an unfamiliar television set or stove. When The Design of Everyday Things was published in 1988, cognitive scientist Don Norman provocatively proposed that the fault lies not in ourselves, but in design that ignores the need and psychology of people. Alas, bad design is everywhere, but fortunately, it isn't difficult to design things that are understandable, usable, and enjoyable. Thoughtfully revised to keep the timeless principles of psychology up to date with every ever-changing new technologies, the design of everyday things is a powerful appeal for good design and a reminder of how and why some products satisfy while others only disappoint. So this will create this. This describes framing in media. Oh my god! Take things like this, just like the simple things that like we know how to use media. Exceptional. We'll figure it out. That's why I still have to read it. So, most recent purchases. Oh, also this one. This one's a quick read. I'll let you know how it goes. I can't really tell you much. It's called Program or Be Programmed 10 Commands for a Digital Age by Douglas Rushkoff. This is the reference book. You need it all the time. It's really helpful. Every artist manifesto is in it. Pitches. Every artist manifesto is in it. Not every artist, but a lot of important manifestos are in it. And if you're doing research or anything, it's really cool to have. And also just so cool to see people talk about the thing that they're passionate about, and they're describing the movement that they built. And it's firsthand. There's nothing more exciting than having somebody be passionate about something that they've built from the ground up. This is God. That's all. This is my favorite book of all time. Maybe no. This is okay. I'm just gonna not say that, but I really love this book as well because it grounded me in art from post-war into the 60s of him. It's really great. Highly recommend it. That's where my meme, the content of my meme, that's where it came from. This is the medium is the Massage from Marshall McLuhan, which is his spin-off book of Marshall McLuhan's Understanding Media. I still have to read this. It takes me like 10 minutes to read one page. Yet to read this. Oh, my doodles, they're supposed to go. Oh my god, it's just giving me anxiety. Supposed to go over there, so they're gonna go over there. Oh my god, look at how much I've adored this book. I got this from my boss last summer, and I destroyed the book. So I didn't know if I should get him a new book. So I got him a new book to put in his office, but I felt so I was so worried because I felt like I was lying, you know. I was gonna give him a new book and take his old book that I had destroyed. So I put both and I left a note. And then later they sent me the book back and they were like, "You didn't have to do that," and it was so nice. Anyways, here's the book. Here's the book I read. I think these books are all good. I don't think they should be moved. But these books definitely do need to be moved. Probably like put out the books that I'm still gonna read. I wish this was more organized. You know, like I wish that. Oh, I mean, I can do it. I'm the master of my own. I'm gonna put my artist books all together. I can show you them. These are my prized possessions. We had them in the living room for a while. This is the factory. This is where all the artists that were making with Andy Warhol, they were making in his building called the factory, and I mean they were just hanging out there too. So that's what this is, and it's photographs of it from Stephen Shore, who ended up being very famous, but he was 17 at the time. And I really love anything that has to do with like artist friendships and artist connections, almost more so than a lot of the time art itself. Big theme. It'll definitely be a hashtag for my work to figure out. Another theme. This is In Memory of My Feelings by Frank O'Hara, and it has a collection of drawings that are put on top of his writing that were added from his friends. He passed away when he was 40 because he was hit by a car. He was the director, I believe, of the Museum of Modern Art. He was working at the He was working at the Museum of Modern Art. And so he was a poet, but he was also like he was part of the art world, and so all of these artists got together and like did their own rendition, or like provided their own piece that was a form of honor to him. And I look at that and I need it. This is art in Chicago. I'm nauseous about it. I just watched just listened to a Bad at Sports podcast today on Michael Rakowitz. He was talking about how he turned down here's the one that I already talked about. he talked about how he turned down the Whitney Biennial because one of their people on the board for the museum board had this company called like Safari Land or something. I kid you not. And they manufacture the tear gas bottles or the tear gas sprayers that have been used to silence protesters, places like the border, Syrian refugees, Black Lives Matters movements, and like several other ridiculous like movements have been like tied back to that. And so Whitney Biennial is being funded a lot by this man's business. So Michael Rakowitz, who's one of my favorite artists, decided he was not going to partake in the Whitney Biennial this year. I listened to him talk on Bad at Sports today. It was very interesting. This doesn't fit anywhere, so I'm just gonna set it like that. We have solved everything. Oh, I really love this book. It's an instructions for use of the space of Buenos Aires, and then there's the Una Artista that I also got in Buenos Aires. It's like an instruction manual, so it's very fluxes. It's my favorite movement. I was mildly explaining that pretty poorly. When I was discussing my book that I read last summer in Chelsea, that was the Robert Rauschenberg book. He was not involved much in Fluxus, but a lot of the ideology of Fluxus lived on. And he was like a lot of the sentimentality. But the way that it uses like the city of Buenos Aires as the instruction manual space, like as that as its media, is very like situationist. So I was very into that. Time to find our favorite files of the year. I could like put time things on this. I don't know if I can. Can I like put a thing? If you want to watch something interesting, it is best now. Does that go for right now? I don't know how to use the technology. I guess I might as well read Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman. We have to decide which put in. At this current moment, we are putting my favorite pieces of writing Great. We're putting my favorite pieces of literature and scholarship or whatever in the pile of my favorite pieces of literature and scholarship from my time at Tufts University. So I'm just going to look through it. Some of this is review board stuff. Here's my essay on scribal labor. That was fun. I don't remember this being that in. What is this? Modernism in retreat, minimalism, minimalist aesthetics and beyond. Brilliant beyond function. I must have really liked this. I don't remember what this is. Funny thing is, like, I fully owe her just made a brand. Let me digest this and tell you what this is in a second. I have literally no idea what this is. Art and object could. Oh, it's free. Is this really that good? How much did I adore this? I don't remember. I don't even remember reading this. Oh my god. Bruce. Can I pin something? Like, is there a moment to pin here? Bruce. Yeah, I don't know. I don't particularly remember why this was so important, but I'm glad that it was. This is Ziga Vertov's manifesto from the Kino I movement, or the Kinoks. Big fan. He's also a big guy with media as like main thing. This is somehow in there. I don't really know why, but I kind of get it. I don't think it was meant to be in there. Now I'm starting to think that this wasn't on purpose. Whatever. It should be in there. Oh, this is just a piece of logic. That's really sweet. This isn't even all of it. This isn't even close to the best stuff. It's too bad. There was one that was like on the definition of like what art is, and somebody went through all of the different ways that they could define art, and they like just landed on it being like something that like just makes something special, like making something special, because it's not making something pretty, because you can make something that's like really disgusting, like Kiki Smith vibes, where you can make something really pretty and it's not art either. Or you can make something important. This might not even be the full thing, because you can make something important. You can make something important, like a jail cell, by giving it the certain feel that it is supposed to be for, being police. But other than that, it's not the same thing as a piece of art. Like, how do you define those two different things? It was a really interesting article. I don't know if I can find that. Might be at home. Oh, that entire book. This is The Steps to an Ecology of Communication, Radical Software Diagram, and the Legacy of Gregory Bateson. Gregory Bateson is like the coolest person ever. I'll read you some highlighted things from it. I'm gonna go to bed soon. No, I'm not gonna go to bed. I'm just gonna be done with this. This is more of the same idea that I had with, or I was discussing with the meme that I made where it was like the jazz musician or the, oh my god, I'm so tired. The abstract expressionists were listening to jazz, and then the pop artists were watching TV. A lot of the beginning of this has to do with some of the same ideologies that would describe how that phenomenon began, where the abstract expressionist was sort of this outcast, and they had to work with, it wasn't cool, like the whole idea of making art was like one's voice and like who they were as a singular being. And then the difference between pop art, and the difference between art post abstract expressionism was the understanding of oneself within society and seeing that you're making about your media ecology. And that's what a lot of this article is about. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Ended up making me do some research beyond. I watched, there was a Duchamp Bateson conversation. Like they had a talk. They had this huge talk, and like a million people came to it. And so I listened to Duchamp's lecture that he gave at this conference. It's called The Creative Act. Actually, I made a piece that it on my YouTube channel, but it makes no sense if you just watch that because it's literally just the sticky note. But the sticky note went from my sticky note, which was like my object. Let me start over. My QR, I had a QR code on a sticky note. And that QR code went to the video of Duchamp reading his creative act. I was part of this whole installation. Another main difference in the implementation of media as an art form, as an art object that may be exploited for use, or not just exploitation, but something that is being used as a tool, is expression versus communication. So by using the tool of a mass media technology, these artists were able to efficiently communicate versus like that which painting affords, which is to express oneself. So over time, the main purpose, I mean, this is so diluted, but the main purpose of art making, I suppose. Purpose is like not the right word, but I suppose like the central perspective on what it is supposed to be was always, or became, about communication and not expression. And while it is expression, it's just that like not like this is my position. And if you want to hear more about that, I highly suggest hearing Clement Greenberg cry about it, because he's really good as a speaker of the abstract expressionists. He was a teacher at Columbia as well. He also taught Robert Motherwell, fun fact. So Robert Motherwell was a student of Clement Greenberg. That's like a really small fact about a man that is extremely influential in art history, but that's something I know because I did research on Robert Motherwell. So this small piece of paper, this object right here holds my answers that I've learned from Tufts so far. Let's take a moment to allow this pile of papers the respect they deserve. I'm crashing, so I think that this deserves the vessel for being held in. And then I think I'm gonna call it a day. I still definitely have more to clean, but I think this is it for me. This might be a free thing. It's definitely going on my website. But it's all part of the process, you know? I hope you've learned something in whatever way that may be it through the knowledge that I have dispersed throughout this video, or be it through my thought process, which is very hyperactive. You perhaps have learned something. What? Bill. Oh my God. Hi, Bill. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to my conversation. I hope that you have learned something from this conversation that I have had between me and my computer. This media object that I'm using as a tool allows me, Celia Glastrus, to disseminate my information on a form of communication, also as an expression form. But if you want to understand what I was trying to describe about Clement Greenberg, about the abstract expressionist versus the type of work that was made by artists post-war, this art form allows me to describe things, and then you can communicate mildly on the side, but mostly it's just about my communication form. So I'm projecting my opinion into the media ecology. It is, the 2019 disembodied experience of the world, essentially the internet. But you do have a voice as well, so I don't control this fully. You do as well. That's just a little bit of knowledge that I've learned from college. Hopefully, I'll be able to soon disseminate it with more proper, solidified explanations that can make it accessible, because knowledge should be accessible to all. Such bullshit. But I genuinely mean that. Anyways, I'm gonna go decompress. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.